Desiree, perfect. Great, thank you, Desiree. Welcome everyone to the kickoff session for the ACT session of ARIA. And we're so happy you're all here and from all over the country in higher ed. And if we could, maybe a quick raise of hands or in the chat of anyone who's already participated in an ARIA session previously. Just raise hand. Okay, so we're good, great. So we have some experienced people, and then anyone who this is their first ever ARIA experience and brave to yes, I'm here for the first time. Wonderful. All right. That's great. Well, we have a great mix. So would love to hear, everyone who's been involved with ARIA in the past, your reflections, questions, comments would be great. And our people that are here for the first time experiencing ARIA, we definitely want to attend to your questions and needs. And we have a lot of people with a lot of great insight here today. So thank you all for being here. I am Tracy Weber. I am one of the ARIA co-founders, and I'm here with some of my other co-founders. We'll flip to their pictures in a minute, and you'll spot them in the crowd here. I work at Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana, where I'm Senior Director of Collaborative IT Services, so a lot of the frontline support functions at Notre Dame. And I first got involved with ARIA with my friend Saumya, who we were leading up the EDUCAUSE Diversity and IT group, and this opportunity arose to really partner and collaborate. And so pretty exciting where we started, where we've come, and just we're thrilled you all are here today to learn more about it. Okay. So today we're just gonna run through, if you've been to an information session before, we'll hit some of the common things we like to cover, but also focused on ACT and then specifically what we're going to cover in the topic of allyship within ACT this time. So we will jump right into it. And at the end, we will just tell you where to go and how the signups will happen and make sure you're all set for signing up for sessions. Okay, so how this all started. So summer of 2020 was an intense time with just where the police killings and George Floyd and others and the racial tension, and a lot of conversations were being started at that time, and what can we do? And in higher ed, we felt a responsibility to do something, and just this group of people came together that wanted to work on something together on this concept of a water cooler conversation or a breakout session where we could really foster dialogue across higher ed on the topic of anti-racism. And so that's how it started, and it started very quickly, and we jumped right into it. And even that first summer, August to January, we started, and by January we had 119 different breakout sessions in this rollout framework that we'll talk about, with 670 people participating, which was just a phenomenal response. And the feedback was so positive that we decided there's value in this. We want this to continue. So we took that time after January to really look at what went well, what do we want to change, how could we make this even better. And we invited a wonderful group of we call them the think tank, and they were a group of the people that participated in ARIA, that had facilitated CIOs. We had a nice mix of people that gave excellent feedback and insight, and we're still meeting with them periodically, and implemented some changes and rolled out with the next iteration of ARIA this June. So we're a few sessions in, but it is never too late to start. And so that's why we have a kickoff information session before every topic, and we give the opportunity to catch up with some of the website resources and the support of our ARIA coordinator group. Okay, so here we are, the original founders, and I think I see Saumya and Desiree for sure, and there might be some others that popped in. So these are, wonderful group of people that I have the opportunity to get to know, and who just share a passion around doing something active in the higher ed space around being anti-racist. Okay, so the approach of ARIA, we like frameworks and we like agility, and this is held true from the start, and I think it's been key to the positive experience for many, is this idea that we will be agile, and we will solicit a lot of feedback. So you'll notice after every session, there's feedback. We ask our facilitators for feedback. We ask our think tank for feedback, and we make adjustments as we go. And even before this last session and during, as the first 2 sessions happened in the last month, there were some adjustments that even happened midstream. So always seeking to improve the experience and the content. The other idea is that you don't have to be in a position of official leadership to lead. People can lead from where they are and really feel empowered by learning, growing, leading, and just go for it. And so that's in ARIA, that's what we hope here, is that we give each other a support group and a place to have these conversations where then we can take that out to the greater higher ed community and really lead. And then we always try to cover just the what are we doing here? Why are we doing it? And then how do we go about this? So we'll talk about that in the context of ACT as we go along here today. Okay, so rollout is, it stands for Reach Out, Listen, Learn, Act, Persist. And so right now we are in the ACT. So we have completed the kickoff and a month of breakout sessions around these other Reach Out, Listen, and Learn topics. So we're kicking off the ACT, and these are all virtual conversations that we're having. There's no in-presence participation, it's all on Zoom, and it's free. And we said currently free, and that was our best way to get started. And we feel strongly about that as a great, way to make this something that is easy for people to participate in. We're also looking at, okay, if there's, there is actually some desire and funding in some places to pay for these types of activities. So we're, not this year, but maybe in future iterations, we would explore that. And hope, with always the goal of making it accessible and available to as many people as possible. These are small group discussions. We limit the group size so it can really be so that everybody has a chance to hear from each other and share their perspectives. And this idea of safe spaces, or we've evolved to calling it brave spaces, where it's we have rules of engagement, these ground rules, norms of conversation that we hope just really generate a good place to have these conversations. And the beauty, I think many of us have different diversity and inclusion initiatives in our own institutions, but really having something that's cross higher ed with people you don't normally interact with can be very freeing and open up some of those conversations. Okay, so what happens around a session? So, so this is the kickoff session, and then we'll ask you to sign up for a session, and you'll pick a time that works for you. We have had some groups that are meeting the same group every month, and so they will continue. And then we will have new sessions that are just starting and available to schedule this month. So once you select your session, we will send you all the details so you know how to connect, as well as pre-session work that you can do. And we found that when we get to the session, the experience is most valuable if we've all done sort of a similar work in preparing, and we have some great resources that we point people to, and reflection questions and activities that really give everyone a common framework and context that helps the conversation. So you'll receive all those, and we ask that you do that ahead of the session. And then during the session, it's the conversation. It's not meant to be a content delivery lecture. It's really meant to be a conversation and a discussion. And our facilitators are there to help keep the conversation going and help remind of the rules of engagement and really make sure everybody has a chance to share their perspective and have that really good conversation. And we do have, specific topics we'll talk about in a second, how we're going to focus on allyship this month and the what, why, and how around allyship. And then after the session, we love the pre-session and post-session activities, and we've gotten great feedback on those. And so we really encourage everyone to do the post-session activities that can really be that next step to take action. And we have a Slack community that can keep the conversation going. And we, as I mentioned, we really appreciate the feedback, and that's what helps us iterate and improve. Okay, so if you'd like to catch up, if this is your first time with ARIA, again, we're thrilled you're here, and the resources on our website will help you get caught up quickly. So you can just click on these links on the ariajourney.org, the Reach Out, Listen, and Learn topics, and really just see what the conversations have been around previous, and that will set you up for jumping right into ACT. And then attendee feedback. This is, this is what keeps us going and helps us want to keep making this available, is just the idea that people across higher ed can come together in a relatively short amount of time and just feel like it's really having an impact. So I won't read all these, but you can see just some of the value that we've heard from these sessions. Okay, so ACT. What is acting? It is making an intentional effort to ensure that attitudes, practices, and policies are inclusive and tuned to be more equitable to the BIPOC community. And why do we need to act? It's because if we do act, then we can help make things more equitable for everyone. And it's not, we realize these are not easy things. These are not snap your fingers type things that we work on, but the slow and steady and everybody within their role, within their place, wherever they are, and just really, helping incrementally to bring about the change we like to see. And as I mentioned, the learn, grow, lead from where you are, and having that, being brave and having a community that supports you, that really helps you make an impact in your own communities. Okay, and so we will get to allyship, and I was looking at our website, and great job team, because I hadn't looked at it all come together before today, and it's really a nice set of resources and videos and just some some great information about allyship and how there's so many different nuances to allyship that are important to think about. So that will be our focus. Last year, we had some different themes, and we decided to really focus this year on allyship with all of our breakout sessions, and focused our resource energy on making that experience and that topic as good as we could possibly make it. So just as a small overview, allyship is active and consistent practice of using power and privilege to achieve equity inclusion while holding ourselves accountable to marginalized people needs. And there's so many aspects of this to be explored. The idea of performative allyship versus authentic allyship, and what does that look like, and how do we do that? And so those, I think it'll be really productive conversation. We have great resources that'll make this go well. And then, the signups. We'll be sending out emails. We typically communicate on all the EDUCAUSE listservs, and if you've registered for the session, you'll get the sign up. And it's really just click a link in Eventbrite, select the section that works for you, the time and day that works for you, and sign up. And then we'll take it from there with sharing the communication. And that will happen at 3 o'clock today, so 15 minutes from now. And we do those fill up quickly, and we do typically have a wait list. So, and I know this is just a subset of the group that will sign up for these sessions, but we really ask for your help. We have been noticing at times where people are not able to make it at the last minute, and that's not ideal, because we've lost that opportunity for someone else in our wait list to attend. So if you're not going to be able to make a session as early that you've signed up for, as early notice as you can give us, so we can just pull someone off our wait list and make sure we want to keep those group sizes small, but too small is not good either. So advance notice is appreciated. Okay, so that was the overview. I'll stop sharing so we can see each other better, and definitely want to open it up to questions and commentary. I know, Samia, you were mentioning that there were some facilitator listening sessions today. Maybe you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, and thank you to all of our facilitators who are here. I see quite a few of them. We constantly, and Tracy mentioned, we constantly, engage with our facilitators. We want to make sure that they are having, a community peer support. And so we hear from them through office hours that we conduct every month. And so last month for Learn, we focused on systemic racism, and we had some interesting feedback from the sessions about how the pre-session work was reflected on during the session, and how powerful the changes that some of the individuals who had reflected on, how systemic racism, how their privilege has affected them or has been useful to them. And so it was, for us on the ARIA leadership team, for us, it was eye-opening to realize the change that these small group conversations are happening. And so, yeah, just a big thank you to all of our facilitators and all of our attendees who have participated in our session so far, and please do keep coming.
Thanks, Samia. Okay, if you like to questions, comments, any in the chat is great, or just jump right in. We've got a small enough group here. I think it works just to unmute and go for it too. Okay, we need a brave person to ask one question.
Hi, this is Mark.
Oh, Mark, yay.
So I just wanted to, just kind of echo something you mentioned earlier about the registration earlier, but also, kind of notifications earlier so that other folks can take advantage of a slot. And this is I want to acknowledge, with everything that happened with COVID and increased numbers and the beginning of the semester, this is a challenging time of year for many of us to even get close to balancing our schedules. So that early notice so that others can take advantage is tremendously graceful, I should say, to really help with that, because there's a lot of work that goes into this. So I just want to thank you all, and also acknowledge the fact that I realize everyone's super busy right now. So
thanks, Mark. Yes, back to school time can be extreme, especially in the era of COVID. So amazing we have so many here today, actually, in light of that, because I think many of us are in our first or second week of classes. Great. Okay, well, I'll hang out, and I'm sure Sammy and Desiree will hang out for a few minutes. So if you want to hang on and ask any questions, just of the coordinators, but look out for the email coming later today with the signups. And as always, reach out to any of the ARIA coordinators or ARIA coordinator at Gmail with any questions, concerns, feedback. Okay, thanks for being here.